Big fluff.
Hello, world. It's Stephanie Smart, and I am here to tell you that I know some shit.
Exotica.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joel Murphy.
And I'm Stephanie Smart.
And this is Stephanie Knows Some Shit,
where we take a little bit of time out of your day to tell you about all the things that I think I know, that I may know, that I don't know. And sometimes we are lucky enough that it is who I know. So for today, I am so excited. Like, I hope you guys can hear it in my voice. I have my beloved, my Biff, my friend of about 20 years now, which is already, we're blowing your mind when I tell you this name because you all think we met on Top Chef, Kristen Kish.
Oh my God, that was like a wonderful lead in.
Thank you. We've been juggling a little bit. Kristen is so excited to be here today that she's gotten very close to the microphone, but we are going to go with it.
Well, so I'm trying out this new thing. Actually, I'm not trying it out, but my wife has this fancy microphone. And so I'm using it for the very first time because I know Stephanie likes to watch those eating videos, but without the sound. So my whole goal in life now is to basically just give her the eating videos and all the audio because I know she really, really loves it.
At least 30 people just shut the podcast down. They were like, we are not listening anymore. That just made us so uncomfortable.
However, you just probably got 500 new people because there are a lot of people that like that stuff. A lot.
The ASMR videos.
Listen, I'm all about it. And I didn't know that I knew what ASMR was back in the day, but that's why I started watching cooking shows for the noises of the cooking. Yes. You didn't know this.
Girl. Yeah. Look at us all learning things.
And like when you hear the knife hit a wood cutting board, stop it.
Stop it. When you hear that time hit the butter. Music.
Yes. Yeah.
It's music. So everyone, today I thought that I would bring Kristen along for our Stephanie Knows Some Shit journey because we have formed a family between the two of us, which has since grown to like a whole community of people we consider our best friends in the entire world. Kristen has been there for me through everything. When I was 20, and I'm going to go really fast and then we'll get into details. I got a job at Top of the Hub and Kristen was the main cook. What was that called, Boo? I was your entremet.
CDP.
She was the CDP. I was her bitch. And we kind of cooked together. We went on to continue to do more stuff. She has come to my family Christmases. I have gotten her mom water when she almost choked in legal seafood. We've really gone through so much. She was the officiant at my wedding. Kristen got married in a beautiful ceremony in her backyard, and I picked up the phone in the bathtub when she got married. So that was great. But yeah, I just really wanted to talk about it because so fundamentally, so much of our careers, our young adult careers, were so wild. And not wild. Kristen and I were not going out very much.
Well, hold on. We sort of did. We had some moments. Stephanie, do not make us sound lame. We totally had moments late night. It was like 2 a.m. and we're eating pizza because we had too many beers. You don't remember this?
I'm talking pre Heartbreak Hotel. I'm talking like Top of the Hub Ivy days.
Oh yeah. We had no friends.
We had each other. And when I say we had each other, we were attached at the hip. We worked together. Then we called each other all day. Then we did activities together. So, a lot of people think that we met on Top Chef and that's stupid. Not saying that you can't make like your best friends there. I love everybody that I've met through Top Chef, but this is something different. So basically, it's the first day of my job at Top of the Hub. That's where I told the story, Kristen. I don't think you heard the podcast yet, but I told the story about slamming my finger in the freezer when you told me where to put the frozen foie gras. Remember I had to go to the hospital?
Yes, I do. And I was like, motherfucker, this girl just starts and now she has to leave work because she slammed her finger in the door. And so before I knew Stephanie, like anytime there's a new person, everyone's sizing everyone up, period. It doesn't matter your gender, your age, ranking, whatever. And so I was like, okay, so this girl's supposed to be my partner in crime on this station. And she just slammed her finger in the freezer and now has to leave work. Like, insert eye roll. I was like, God damn it, really?
What drama queen. My finger, everybody, was like the size of 3 hot dogs, just so you know that I did not downplay the injury. And it was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing.
I was kind of embarrassed for you because we should also, aside from maybe the pastry department and the GM member, Sylvia, the salad lady.
She scared the crap out of me.
Yep, right. She was terrifying. Maria. With the cucumber. Okay. Yes.
Guys, that didn't sound right. I cannot just leave it at Maria and the cucumber.
No, I think leave it there. I think we got it.
I meant the cucumber around the salad.
Yes. It was like a ring. Like you slice it the long way and then you put it in a ring mold that definitely was not food safe at the time.
It was a PVC pipe.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't our restaurant. We just followed the rules. And you make a ring and then stuff lettuce in it. And so it looks, it's beautiful. And Maria/Sylvia, I cannot remember her name.
I think it was Maria.
She was like the mother of that line. However, aside from her and a couple other people, it was just Stephanie and I on the hotline as the 2 women. We were girls. We were definitely girls.
I couldn't legally drink.
And then I was like, well, the other girl just hurt herself and now she has to leave. I was sad for you. But really everybody,
there is always a silver lining. I came back stronger than ever. And my favorite thing about our time at Top of the Hub, which was like such a beautiful, like tiny little part of our lives, that literally that place formed a lot of our future. Mm-hmm. What we've done since we've controlled, but that was like just 2 really special minds met. I was going to say beautiful, but like, girl, this shit's
listen, we were beautiful. We were amazing. We were by far the most 2 talented people on that cooking line, hands down. Right.
Down if you're listening, and you know who you are.
And we need to paint a picture of Top of the Hub because it was at the top of like the tallest building in Boston. 360 view, gorgeous floor to ceiling windows that when that sun came in, baked you in that kitchen. Like it was definitely got above 100 degrees. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're wearing like the wool chef pants and like oversized jackets because they didn't have
monogrammed jacket.
Right.
Everybody listening, if you're opening up a restaurant, do not make your line cooks wear monogram chef coats that they have to wash on their own because they do not have their own washers and dryers. I used to put that shit through the dishwasher when the chef wasn't looking.
You did. But we did like 500 plus covers, like crushed it every single night after night after night. And our slow nights were what? Remember when they would come in and write the cover count left? And it would, you'd see it drop from like 500 to 400 to 300. And when you saw like in the 90s, it was like,
you pack it in.
A walk in the park. Yeah. We're done. Yeah.
So I was Kristen's entremet. So that means that I was the one in charge of all the garnishes and heating up the sides and whatnot. And we were fast as bullets. Like our chef used to be like, you have to slow down. And we were like, well, maybe so-and-so should speed the F up. Like, we're here to produce. I wish people could just see my sassy hand right now because it is going left and right. We are here to produce quality product at a speed. So the plates, that's the other thing. Do you remember how damn hot those plates used to get?
Okay. So because it was such a turn and burn restaurant, everything was piping hot because you have to make it from this massive kitchen out to through a massive dining room, and everything still needs to be hot. And so everything you can't touch it. And do you remember how much of, what's a good word for us? Bitchy? Yeah. Sure. Bitchy is the right word. Of like trying to make the plates as hot as we could and throw up so much food in the window that the expo would get screwed because they couldn't keep up. Like it was a fun challenge.
That's how I think that you and I looked at that. We were racing, like we were dancing. We were just like, we were in it. We were cooking and like, don't stop us. And I just remember having like a very linear focus on like, I only looked in front and behind me because I always knew peripherally what you were doing. And if I saw 3 salmons with the, or what were they? 3 tunas with the macadamia nut butter. I knew to get my jasmine rice and mixed vegetable and mango sauce puree. Yeah. Mango sauce with the swoosh.
There were some dots. There was definitely like a squiggle line.
There was a squiggle of the mango.
And you stamp the rice in this mold with the bottom of the bottle. And it was like this perfect disc. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It was a thing.
But it was 2008. Just so we can put a year on this. It was 2008. Oh my God.
Was it?
Wait, have we only been friends?
No. Hold on. We should probably start this whole thing off by saying how long what year we actually met.
2008, because 2007. 2007, because I graduated college.
2006, I graduated, and then I moved to Boston.
Right. Everybody, for the record, Kristen is 2 years older than me. Never forget. I won't. It was 2007 because my first day at Top of the Hub was supposed to be my graduation. But I was like, excuse me, bitches, I am here to make the money. $11 an hour. Do not stop me.
Do you remember? Oh, and we were in charge of the lasagna. Do you remember? Okay, hold on. We gotta way back up because
excuse me. Every episode is going to be a year of Kristen and my life together because we will keep going. We said, I was like, Boo, do you feel comfortable if I don't have like an outline of how this is going to go? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, we're going to let this roll. And now we have gotten.
We are on Top of the Hub.
We are right at the mushroom lasagna that you put into the steamer, and started off as a perfect rectangle, and then it just got too hot. And like by the time we were I was like at the door as a server was walking, like trying to cup it back into its shape. I was like, it's fine, nothing to see here. I was like, it's good.
But my whole point is that we have to prep all the stuff on our station, and so I'm getting into where I'm going with this, the jasmine rice. And so before Stephanie, I was someone else's entremet. And so I was in charge of all the rice, the vegetables, anything except for the protein. And again, massive restaurant, you are making vats of coconut rice. When I tell you vats to get through the day. And so you have to lift this huge rondo up into the second oven because pastry is using the bottom oven. So naturally, why wouldn't you lift a 50-pound thing of rice to the second oven? And I was just thrilled to not have to do that anymore. I was like, Stephanie, let me teach you how to use this one-handled pot.
I had one handle and the pot holder, because we were also only given like 4 towels to make it through 500 covers. Mm-hmm. So like you coveted these towels, you put them underneath your chef coat, you like lined your body with them until they were needed. But this jasmine rice, so that happened on my first day. And I will never forget, this was a walk-in. So a walk-in's a big refrigerator. Kristen's like, go get the coconut milk. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Kristen. And it was in a third pan, which is an uncovered trough, if you will, of liquid. And there used to be plastic sheets that came when you walked in or walked out of the door before you pushed the door open. And I was like, I bet I can push the door open with this trough of coconut milk. And it just did one of those like tidal waves away and then came back at me. And I was just like, I don't think this is going well. On the floor. And Mark Picaro, hope you're doing well, bud.
Oh, you put him. Yep.
Dude, he talks about, he's still Top of the Hub. And he owns like 4 restaurants or does something now. I don't know what he does.
Does he really?
He does something. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, R.I.P. though, Top of the Hub. Like,
oh yeah, Top of the Hub.
It's really sad. Yeah. So you can't go there and get coconut rice and tuna.
Yeah. Or anything. But, our time there was so funny. It was so funny. And Kristen and I, we were given like 15-minute break before we had to go into service to battle. And we used to go outside and just smoke cigarettes. Can I say that, Kristen? Oh, everybody. Yeah. So we used to
I'm taking my Invisalign out. Excuse me.
Thank you. You don't have to get closer every time you say something.
I just get really excited. Okay.
I know. So we used to go outside and rip butts, and we're standing out there and we're smoking cigarettes. We're like 20. We're in the middle of the city. Like life couldn't be any cooler. We're like doing the best we can. And she looks at me. She's like, I don't want you to be mad or something to the effect. And she's like, I got another job. And I'm like, F you. Oh my God. I already don't like this job necessarily that much. I was like, she's the coolest person I've ever met in my entire life. Like, you can't just leave me here. And she goes, I will come get you.
I did. I said it like a
boss.
Princess and Charming. whatever, where it's like you see that movie and like one person goes off to war and like, I'll be back for you, like that. That's how
Kristen went to war and I was left in battle for, God, what was it? 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
So we worked there for a good year and a half, right, together. And so our friendship and our definition and identity is like people solidified in each other's lives was like, it was so strong. It happened so fast. And I think that we bonded over the fact that, yes, we were the only two women on the line. But then beyond that, we realized, oh my God, we work like this. We're like yin and yang. We're bouncing off each other. And we're basically the most competitive people on that line. And we wanted to win. Which ultimately, yes, everything. And so, I got, but not against
each other. And that's something really important to highlight was the competition wasn't between you and me. We were the team and they were the players.
Yes.
And it was just brilliant.
It was amazing. Honestly, I learned obviously what it was like to like meet a best friend. Also, two, you learn what it's like to cook with somebody else. And like, that was huge. And as much as we kind of joke about that restaurant of, the tuna and the mango and the coconut rice and how hot it was, at the end of the day, that restaurant brought us together and it taught us how to cook. Like, I will never forget what that felt like.
It was such a, like, I just remember like Kristen's obviously very close with my family and vice versa, being like, Mom, you're not going to believe this. I was like, she is like a fucking gazelle. I never said fuck in front of my mother. I don't know why. Ever. I would never. And I'm sorry, Mom, because I know you listen to this. And I'm sorry, Dad, that you're going to get yelled at because I said that. But I was like, Mom, I met this beautiful woman. And I probably said it in however a 20-year-old would say it. But I was like, we clicked. And my mom was like, Stephanie, that's so great. And my parents to this day, they have always felt so safe when you and I are in the same room because your girl can go off the hinges sometimes. I can get a little crazy. Kristen always knows how to bring me in. So by the time with Top of the Hub, when Kristen left, there was a couple more weeks. I truly don't remember them. She went on to run a restaurant, which was, you have to keep in mind, everybody, Kristen's 23. Were you 23? 24?
Oh, yeah. I think I was just turned 24. I don't speak of this restaurant by its name.
We're not going to call it by its name.
Yeah, can you turn your mic a little bit? Yeah. You're getting kind of
Joel, this is part of the show because clearly I don't know how to use a microphone.
I was trying to hold up a note, but I was like, just trying to get you to.
It's very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Just yell at me when you need me to change.
Okay, but
is
that's
this good?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So Kristen and I, we don't really talk about this restaurant because there's a lot of darkness associated with it. Not like how you're thinking, but it was just like, wasn't properly run. It's no longer around. There was a lot of BS that happened.
A lot of bouncing checks.
A lot of bouncing checks.
Yeah. So it's just not good for anybody.
If your boss ever tells you that you can only cash your check on a Tuesday after 2 p.m. and no other days, you've got so many issues.
Yeah.
But what we did in that restaurant was also like magic. We ran that line and we kept a staff the entire time. I was Kristen's sous chef. She was the executive chef. We kept a staff the entire time. There were smiles on people's faces. We had so much fun.
We did. I remember that job as being you and I, without you, I don't think I would have made it through that garbage that we had to go through. Like,
I don't know how anybody would have.
Trying to fight for people's paychecks, but also trying to run a kitchen where I didn't know how to run a kitchen. So thankfully, between the two of us, we had the smarts to figure it out. And we did figure it out. And we didn't let anyone know that we couldn't do it. And we were just like, it was a secret between us.
Said to each other that we couldn't do it or that it was crumbling. We were just like, our focus was to make food we were proud of. And that's something that I remember so vividly, like your family coming in and like, you know, that was our VIP table and my family coming in and that was our VIP table. And we weren't in magazines for this restaurant. This wasn't a Michelin starred anything, but we had so much pride in the food we brought out. Like Kristen and this is going to go dark for a second. I'm about to tell a sour story, Kristen. You probably don't remember it.
Okay.
Kristen one day and I got into some sort of argument about something and we never ever fight. I don't fight with anybody, but like something happened, and it's still to this day.
Wait, hold on. You don't remember what it was?
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
I do, and I remember what I'm about to say is what it was and what your reaction was.
Okay.
So she says something like, let's just imagine she's like, you know what? You can't even wear an apron properly. And I looked at her with all the contempt and evil in my eyes, and I go, I think the short rib is gross. And I shit you not, I have never seen, I was like, I said the wrong thing. I was like, we're not coming back from this. I was like, oh God.
Had you been like holding on to that? Was that like you waiting for that?
No, I don't know where the spite and anger came from.
Hold on. Did I say something about your apron?
No, it was something like, Stephanie, go lighter on the parsley or something, like you gave me a criticism and I therefore fired back with missiles.
Got it. Yes.
And I will never forget that. That's probably the only time you and I have ever, and it wasn't a fight. I was just like, I really didn't mean that. I don't know quite where that came from. I still to this day do not love a short rib, but
Stephanie, I don't even remember this. And that's how much of a non-fight it was.
Carrot. I don't really
I don't remember ever feeling mad at you.
Well,
ever really in our friendship.
If anybody hears angels buzzing in their ears right now, that is the weight of 1,000,000 pounds being lifted off my shoulders. Because
how have we never talked about this over?
Because I didn't know it was a very sensitive topic at the time. I didn't know if I brought it back up, if it would be like, well, I thought your crab cake was dumb, and then we had to go through like.
Oh my God, no! I don't even remember. Like it is not even embedded in my.
You were standing on the stairs. I was on the line in front of the grill.
So did we not talk for a while?
25 to 30 seconds.
Oh.
Just move on.
And then I was probably like, Stephanie, can we go like smoke a cigarette or something?
Yeah.
And
or you were like, would you change anything about the short rib? And I was like, nah, I don't think so.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's just what you remember.
In a world where people watch movies,
I think I'm going to watch a movie.
sometimes they don't like what they see.
I don't like this movie.
But sometimes they look for the silver lining.
Wait a second. I like this part of this movie.
Joel and Andy do that work for you. The Silver Linings Playback.
I like this part of this podcast where they tell me the part of the movie I like.
Every Monday on the Peak Sloth Podcast Network or wherever you get your podcasts.
So we both leave this job. You know, when you don't get paid, it's really easy to be like, cool, peace. And so I started working for Barbara Lynch, and I've talked about her a ton. It's the infamous, I forgot to attach my resume to the first email. And they were like, no. But the chef of B&G Oysters recognized my last name because he's best friends with my cousin. And then I got the job. So I was at B&G for a year, and I was like, I would really like to be more guest facing because that's like my jam. I like to talk. I like to talk to you, all of you. I like to talk to people that I'm cooking for. And I was like, may I please go be the chef at Stir? And it wasn't that easy, but the space opened up and I was given the opportunity. And so Kristen is like, were we at the MFA? Is this our MFA date?
Where we talked about what? We had a lot of dates where we talked about a lot of important things.
This was when I told you not to move to Dubai.
No, we were sitting on the brick wall in front of Dunkin' Donuts at Government Center T Station.
Why were we there?
Because we were going to the MFA. You're right.
Okay.
Yes.
Kristen
right.
and I, correct. All of our very important life decisions, we would try and be like, I was just about to downplay it, but like, you know, you want to go hang out with your friend during the day. We'd go to the Museum of Fine Arts. Now, I don't want people to think that I go to like a lot of museums or seek this out because that is the wrong impression. But Kristen and I, we got a little culture in, have a glass of wine. Maybe we had like a little snack or something. I would like to clarify that I also left this garbage restaurant. So when she went to B&G,
Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen is now working for this incredible restaurant. What was that called? Sensing.
It was Sensing. Guy Martin, Michelin star chef from Paris.
Yes. So she was there just crushing life. But like for all of us, her life was changing, as was mine. Like how would in the same time, we were both making really
parallel,
big life changes. We were parallel.
Yeah.
Exactly. Joel. See, that's Joel. We were parallel. We were both at these moments. Kristen needed to move. I was breaking up with a very long-term boyfriend. She wanted to move to Dubai. It was like hard enough having me being in the South and her being in the North. And I was like, I don't know, that seems, and I had like $6 to my name. I was like, I can't visit you that often. So I don't love this idea. So as we're sitting, she's telling me all of these things. She's telling me how she feels. There's like, not to downplay it, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of.
Well, I was running away from a life that I didn't want. So in a lot of different ways, relationships, I wasn't out yet. There was a lot of stuff that me going to Dubai, thinking that would solve all the other issues. So I wanted to go to Dubai, not for any other reason except to run away.
And I was like, I think I saw that in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that Boston had more to give and that it wasn't your time. So we became co-chefs. We were co-chefs.
No. You were my boss for a while. You were my boss. So yeah,
So now I've gone from being her employee and vice versa. So we switch roles, but it doesn't matter.
Right. There was, yes, you were my boss for a while.
Perfect. Which was ironic because only one of us most nights would be there. So, there
were 4 employees, including us.
10 people sat around a table. We cooked in the middle. And the best days were when we got to cook together. But the other times it wasn't like you were there like managing or vice versa.
No.
So I'm like, will you please come stage at Stir? She's like, great. And then I was like, may I please, because I have now imploded my personal life. May I please have my father drop me off at your apartment in Southie in the middle of the night because he doesn't know quite what to do with me. And may I gag on your couch and get a blood blister because I slammed my finger in the door too. There.
Yes.
So I slept on Kristen's couch for 2 weeks or 3 weeks while we found an apartment.
Okay. So, and then I'm going to add a little bit of layering and color and texture to this. So she comes over. So I had a relationship. That relationship ended. However, we were still living under the same roof.
Oh, that's awkward.
Correct. However, for a very long time, we were basically just roommates anyway. So
I love that.
Yes. Great
Amazing.
person. So what happened was that relationship ended between me and them. Stephanie was like bawling her eyes out, crying me. I was like, come on over. And then a week later, was it? My now roommate, best friend, broke up with their partner. So there's 4 of us living under this house together. Stephanie's on the couch gagging, eating pizza from a Chinese restaurant. I'm trying to like, oh my God, because I have this fear of puke on my floor. So I'm like going with a bucket. And then we have the other 2 people in the other rooms. So it's great. It was a really wonderful time.
It was like a puddle.
How big is this apartment?
Imagine being 26. It was like 2 bedrooms. Like this was like baller.
Okay.
And it was like big ceilings and like, it felt good. Right?
It did.
It feel good?
I'd probably still be there had we not found the other apartment, to be completely honest. I was fine with the couch.
But we were in it. We were like in the trenches.
And I was like, Kristen. So Kristen, of course, she crushes the stage. Barbara falls in love with her and she starts working. And so we move into, I'm going to do my description and then you can do your description. Mm-hmm. We call it the Heartbreak Hotel because we're heartbroken. Relationships have ended. So they were about 200 square feet each. The sink was outside the bathroom and there was my bed and that's all I fit. And then I had that fun little cabinet thing that my mom and I bought at I still wish people could see it. Had like a little flip, like you flipped it open and there were my clothes. Guys, when I say this was the best apartment of my entire life, I have never to this day loved a place as much as I loved living above Casa Kwong on Tremont Street. Our roommate, our what do you call him? What was
The
he?
landlord.
Landlord. Atran was the cutest guy. He wanted nothing to do with us. We wanted nothing to do with him. I would pay him in cashier's checks because I'd never paid rent before in my life, because in my relationship before, he just paid for it. Makes me sound so bratty, but I was. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry. Just sorry for everything. But we lived, it was just like, oh man, we lived 4 blocks down from work, and people were like, how do you live without a kitchen? And it's like, I don't need to eat. Like I go to work, and work wasn't just a place that was work. It was a community. It was family. It was fun. We had this other amazing friend, Caitlin, that worked there, and we became a trio. And then Deirdre was a GM at the butcher shop, and then we became a quattro. And it was just one of those amazing experiences. But that apartment, and like apartment loosely, like I had a door and a lock, and you had your own door and a lock.
But we were like, we had 2 people separating our thing. So if you can imagine, they call them efficiencies, and there's no kitchen. So it's a mini fridge. I chose to have a futon that could slide into a couch. Stephanie chose to have a bed, because you have to choose one or the other.
I knew I was going to make a new boyfriend very soon.
and she did.
Yeah, and I did 5 minutes later, and I was not inviting David over to my futon.
It was, you know what? I think a lot of things happen, time and place of where we were in our life, along with the job that we had at Stir, this no responsibility kind of life, living in the South End, which, you know,
at this time, the South End was at its peak. It was stroller wars. It was like dog fashion shows. It was such an eclectic group of people. You knew everybody. You know, we even, the girl at Starbucks, you remember her? We got her a baby gift when one of the baristas was pregnant. Like, this became ours.
If you can think of like six blocks, it was basically those 6 blocks, and every business lined on those streets was our home. So yes, we had our place, our efficiency, which was our bedroom for a lot of intents and purposes. Stir was our kitchen and our food place. And then every other business were like little stops of great friends and other roommates. So it was just so special. And to have gone through and go through these big life changes that we were going through at that time, under the circumstances, with this like special support community system, it couldn't have been any more perfect. It was perfect. And so when I say I miss that time, or I miss that apartment for that point of our life, I can't imagine anything being better.
I 100% agree. We used to go out and we would get drinks after work. And then David and I had started dating by this point. And I'd be like, ladies don't eat after 8 p.m. And these 2 motherfuckers would be housing mozzarella sticks and pizza on my bed.
Oh, yeah. Well, so she gets this new boyfriend, who obviously her now husband. And David and I are like on the same wavelength of eating. And so it's like this crappy place that definitely has rats running around. But my God, their chicken finger subs and their pizzas were outstanding. And at like 1 o'clock in the morning, we'd get a big pizza, ranch dressing. We'd go to Stephanie's bed because she had the biggest bed surface. We would go and eat pizza. And then I would walk in my pajamas and my socks right down the hall back to my room to go to bed. It was glorious.
Such a fun and funny time. We just, there was nothing, in my opinion, there was nothing wrong in life at that moment. And, you know, you always look back on things with like rose-colored glasses, but we were just, it's kind of like when you've gone through your entire life with like a certain level of anonymity. Anonymity.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anonymity. And then you've become your own person and realize that the world's so open to embrace you if you embrace them back. That was my experience in that time of our lives. And we loved Stir. We loved Barbara. We loved who we worked with for the most part. We just really had such a good time. And so, you know, I think we're now in like 2010. So we'll be done talking in like 9 hours, everybody.
we're gonna need like part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Our friendship cannot be summed up in 45 minutes.
I know. I just said it because like David's making BLTs for dinner. So
I mean, that sounds no. Listen, I'm gonna have to pee in about 5 minutes. So
okay, we got to keep going though. We got to keep going.
We're
now only getting to the good part. So it's not lost on me that you guys are loving this story so far, but you're like, what about Top Chef? So we're going to just dip our toes quickly because there are some funny moments of the Top Chef thing, but we're not going to go dark, guys. We're not going to go dark because we all know the outcome of season 10. I lost in the first 30 seconds. Kristen fucking went. She got eliminated. I was like, okay, we are even now because now I'm against her. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I'm just in my sad corner with my dad like picking me up and taking me to the Cheesecake Factory. True story. And Kristen's like, oh no, I'm not gonna like lose. I don't lose ever. And I was like, no, she doesn't. And she goes and wins the whole episode. Sorry, the whole season. Sorry if I spoiled it for you. Kristen, season 10 Top Chef winner. Great, guys. I'm glad we did that. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back to the original part of the story, which is Kristen and I, it's a Wednesday. We check our emails every day, I would say, like one time a day. We don't get emails of importance, but nobody's emailing us being like, how are the gals doing? We're not getting those. So we get an email and it's from Chef Barbara. And she's like, forwarded an email about Top Chef looking for contestants.
Specifically women, if Barbara had any women in her company.
Yeah. And I'm like, Chris, you want to do this? And she's like, yeah. And I write back just like casually. I'm like, sounds fun. Boom. 20 minutes later, casting director calls. This is like, did we even have FaceTime?
Hold on.
Okay.
So I'm going to back up because there's a little bit small window that gives great context to this. And I don't know if you remember it in the same way I do. We're sitting on the stoop of our Heartbreak Hotel.
Yes.
And it was nighttime. Do you remember? It was nighttime.
Yes.
And we had this tree right in front of us. And so Stephanie and I, we would get done working at the 10 hours together and then obviously want to keep hanging out. So we sat on the stoop on our walk home before we went inside, ripping butts. And I think we had some conversation about life, about being like, is this too easy? Or something is getting a little boring. Something's feeling stale. There was a paper bag in the branch of the tree, or a plastic bag in the branch of the tree. And we were just looking at that, talking about life.
Mm-hmm.
And then enter in Stephanie's
And then that's when it changed. It was like, yeah, I think we said something to the effect of, will we be sitting here in the same place and the bag is still there next year?
Mm-hmm.
Which was very telling because we get this phone call. They're like, would you like to try out for Top Chef? I know for my personally, I gave it about as much thought as I do like tying my shoe. Like I was like, and that's not saying good or bad. I was just like, nothing's going to come of this. I didn't think about the future. It wasn't something that I ever thought I'd pursue. It wasn't on my range. I had never.
No, when we got that email, you say yes when you don't even know what you're saying yes to. You're just like, fine, whatever. It's kind of like, do you want chicken for dinner? Yeah, sure, whatever. And deep down, I remember after saying yes, I was like freaking out, like, and I was freaking out, stewing in my own mess of anxiety. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then I had to talk myself into it. I was like, I just said yes to this first thing, but I don't have to keep saying yes. I can say no at any point.
Mm-hmm. So we talked to the casting director and she's like, we don't normally do this. We'll make an exception because we were very late in the process. And you were not, just because it came to us or Chef Barbara and she gave our names does not mean that we were on the show. So we still had to make a casting video. Now we've explained the size of their part.
I forgot about this.
Mm-hmm. My father is 6'5". He is not a slight man. He is a football player. He is a large man. He is, no offense, Dad, but you're like a little clumsy. And this is like in the years of maybe like the iPhone 2 or 3. And we have to shoot a video of us like doing things. I don't remember the video. I wish I still had it.
Well, thank God they said we could do our casting video together because there's no way this was happening solo. Like we were coming as a package. And I think they knew they could get us to come as a package.
Yeah, I'm good.
I remember the video we filmed. We gave tours of our efficiency apartments. With no
and
kitchens.
my dad was like so cute. It was at night, guys, and he like drove his Jetta, which my brother's still driving, so it's like really old, and we're all just super sketched out that it still works, but it's fine. It's totally besides the point. But we're just like going, and my father's filming us, and we're laughing, and it's so fun, and they fly us out, and we're like sequestered in rooms, and we're texting each other, and we're like obsessively reading the dining room. What do you call that? Room service menu.
In-room, yeah. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, still have no idea what we're getting ourselves into and what we just agreed to do, because this is just, it is crazy. And if you've never done it, if you've never done it before, you have nothing to expect. So seeing all these new chefs come in doing all these other seasons, you're like, man, you have no idea what you're in for. And that's, I mean, ignorance is bliss. And I guess at that point, is that how the saying goes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. At that point, that's why I think we said yes to all these things, because we didn't know any better. We were like, oh, this is a vacation from work. Sure, we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. What do we have to lose? So again, I've told the rest of that story, and not Kristen to undermine your incredible ending. Actually, I would like to tell a little story. So for the finale, so on my time at Top Chef, I have seen, for the 3 seasons I have been on every first episode, and I've been to every finale, which is just a little point of mine. But after Kristen wins, I sleep over. I had to borrow a shirt. I never gave it back, and I wore it all the time. It was a really nice shirt.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Which, if anybody's like, she fit in her shirt, I didn't. I stretched it. You're welcome. But Kristen's brother and father had also come out to see their sibling and daughter win. And, you know, I joke, and everybody, I am married, and I don't mean this, and John, you're already getting thrown under the bus. I'm like madly in love with Kristen's brother. Like, it's just one of those things. Kristen and my brother have had a weird,
I'm in love.
Obviously. It's fucking gross.
It's true.
It's true. You kissed me.
I did.
It was a peck, and it was just to make me mad.
It was adorable.
I gagged. It was gross, and I've never kissed Kristen's brother. However, we went on just the nicest drive through Malibu. It's just me and John and the Tunes. We went out to lunch together. I don't know where Kristen is at this point. She's just won Top Chef, and we were like, peace. We just
I was doing all my interviews.
Yes.
All interviews the next day.
And John and I, that's when we really solidified our affection for one another in a platonic way. But,
and,
you know,
and to this day, they still make googly eyes at each other. Oh. And 90% to like, my brother does it to irritate me for sure.
Yeah.
But it's
90% here too. But there is 10% that I think if life was different, I would be Stephanie Kish.
You sounded a little jealous about the fact that she kissed your brother and you haven't kissed her brother. I've sensed a little jealousy there. Yeah.
So, you know, I really feel like there wasn't the passion behind two straight people kissing would be. You know, it was sort of like watching brother and sister kiss when Kristen pecked Wyatt.
I mean, bless him. He was,
he's still a man and he's single and stuff. We got to play him up a little bit.
Oh, so, okay. No. Wyatt is an amazing man. When I just saw him at Stephanie's birthday dinner or lunch, brunch, whatever, I was like, oh my gosh, you have grown into a man. Like shoulders, like the height, like he's put weight on his frame, like all this stuff. But for me, in my head, he will always be 20-year-old little child who's like the cutest thing ever. But yes, he's single and he's definitely looking.
Yeah. And like so awesome. He's going to murder me.
He's amazing.
I'm going
He's
to
amazing.
Be the topic. He's just the best. So Kristen won the entire season, and you know, life took another turn when that really happened, because you were suddenly thrust into a whole new world. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it wasn't anything for our relationship. You were living like this. You're just fucking doing like the best ever. You were just being so good at it, and I loved every second of it. Kristen left Stir. I left Stir. I went to Number 9 Park, and she became the executive chef of Monton, which I know nothing about, to be completely honest. I saw you like 2 times there.
We didn't really get to hang out. So once we left Stir, like that,
I had moved in with David at this point.
Yes.
So I'm out of the apartment.
So like the rose-colored glasses started to like turn into reality, right? This is where adulthood really starts to happen. We have jobs away from each other. She has a boyfriend. Like things are just looking a little bit different, and everything is fine still. But it's like, you know, I think we had to re-find our footing too as our friendship grew into that space.
Well, it sounds like too, because you've both been saying everything was very parallel up until like your life experiences were parallel, your work was parallel, you were working. So now at this point, these are very divergent paths of like, you've been on Top Chef, you won.
Her personal life is going up. Yeah. My professional life is going up. Meanwhile, my personal life is going down the shitter. Right. So like it's bad, really bad.
But so now it's opposite directions for the first time.
Yeah. But we're still, I just burped. Sorry, everyone.
I have to pee.
All right. So now our lives are going in different directions. Kristen's work life is amazing. My personal life's amazing. Kristen's personal life is in the shit. I hate my job. And on that note, we are going to actually make this a two-parter because we are only 26 now. We started when we were 21. We are 26 now. Kristen is 40. I'm 37.
No, 38.
But I don't want to leave you guys hanging. If you are enjoying this episode, we are going to just break it up because we don't want to murder you.
Yeah, we're all going to meet back next week. We'll finish this up. Did either of you ever check to see if that bag ever got out? Is the bag still in the tree?
The bag is not still in the tree.
Okay. So it's doing well, too. So it has its own path as well.
The bag went on its own way, too.
Okay.
It flew like the beautiful plastic. It probably disintegrated. It gets really windy on that street, to be honest. It's fine. So everybody, we will be back next week.
Yeah. Do you want to say the thing? You got the...
Yeah, I got to go in my notes.
Same thing.
She doesn't sign off. She doesn't remember. So that's,
remember. All right, guys. So we're going to be back next week with more Kristen Kish. But remember, in the meantime, if you're confused, we probably are too, but we can figure it out together. Thanks for listening.
Stephanie Knows Some Shit is hosted by Stephanie Smarr and me, Joel Murphy, and produced by me. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and instead of a review, tell us about a meal that you ate or made recently. We'd love to read about it.
We Have to Ask. It's a podcast where we answer the question, are you going to eat that?
What will you leave behind?
Why get out of bed?
Will you be our neighbor?
I'm Marty.
And I'm Jonathan.
We're two hosts.
Infinite universes.
We have to ask.
New interviews every Tuesday.
Find us on iTunes or online at wehavetoask.com or with the other great podcasts on the Peak Sloth Network at peaksloth.com.